Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with, well, just Mark today. It's Friday, and sometimes they leave me alone on Fridays for some reason. I think it's because Pam and Sarah can only take 4 days of me, and then they need a break. We are covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com. Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's. Well, we had Toby McAllister scheduled for today, but unfortunately Toby couldn't make it and we had to reschedule. But I do have Sosai Donna Harris coming in from Phoenix No Limits Karate. She is a new member of the BNI group that Pam is involved with, and Donna came up with a very unique fundraiser to help out a friend in need. So I'm going to play that for you as well. But before I do, let's take a look at some headlines for Friday, June 27th. The Sun Journal reports that St. Mary's Regional Medical Center's Emergency Department has earned a Level 3 accreditation for geriatric emergency care through the American College of Emergency Physicians. St. Mary's joins 5 other hospitals in the state with the designation, and it's the only hospital serving the general public in southern and central Maine. Hannaford Supermarket's parent company announced that the personal information of some current and former employees, as well as some customers, was compromised during a cyber breach last November. Compromised information includes Social Security and driver's license numbers, home addresses, phone numbers, and health information. The company is directly notifying affected individuals. A bill that would have required general home contractors to be licensed in Maine has been carried over to the next legislative session. The proposed legislation would have mandated licensing for projects exceeding $15,000 and established a residential construction board to oversee the program and set educational requirements. And a recent AARP survey reveals that Maine is one of the most expensive states in which to retire. According to the data, Mainers need more than $1 million in savings to retire comfortably. AARP also reported that nearly 57 million Americans do not have access to a work-based retirement plan. Let's take a look at the weather.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
It's going to be partly sunny today with a high of 75 and a low of 48. Looks like rain tomorrow. Of course, it's Saturday, right? We're going to have a high of 65 and a low of 58, and cloudy on Sunday with highs in the 70s. In sports, after a miserable West Coast road trip, the Red Sox are back home to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m. with Brian Bayo on the bump for Boston. That's your news, weather, and sports. Now, let's bring Sosai Donna Harris into the studio.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
I am joined in studio by Sosai Donna Harris of Phoenix No Limits Karate on this beautiful Friday. Donna, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing, Mark?
Excellent. And you have a whole new look about you.
I do.
Tell us what's going on here.
So I recently joined a BNI network group, and shortly into my visits, I think it was my second visit in, I met a lady there, Ashley, and she was telling us that she had to leave the group for medical purposes. She's battling cancer. I instantly knew that I needed to do something. My dad died of cancer. I've had many people in my life that have battled cancer. And one friend in particular, she's passed on now, I think it's been 13 years. She actually, she was a journalist. I met her through my husband. She actually diaried her breast cancer journey. And I think she video diaried. I think it's called the Breast Cancer Diaries. And she wrote a book called Pink Tips. Through her journey, we talked, and one time I remember asking her, "What do you say to people who ask you, what can I do to help?" And she said, "I tell them to show up." And that resonated with me because all too often people have this fear when they hear the C word. And it's almost like they're afraid to approach somebody. They want to help, but they don't know how. They don't want to interfere. They don't want to upset the patient. So they really just don't know what to do. And so that resonated with me when she said, just show up. She's like, that can be in a lot of different ways, and it's personal to you. So this isn't the first time I've done this. I've done this before. I had the idea to create a fundraiser where it involved the entire BNI chapter. These people, most of them have known Ashley a long time. It's a close-knit group. And so I thought, wouldn't it be a fun way for us to get together and to show love, to show unconditional love in a unique way? And so I offered to allow each of them to cut my hair for a donation. It was a fun experience. It was beautiful. It was amazing to see so much love in one room. At one point, I looked like all three Stooges in one person. So I can say that one of the most important things that I'm grateful for that happened Wednesday is we had a visitor there that happened to know how to cut hair. So she was able to clean up the mess that everyone made because, yeah, none of them have the skills necessary to be a beautician.
And just in case you're curious how all this went down, Pam Ashby did post a video on the Lydia Media Facebook page if you want to see some before and after of Donna.
The during ones are the ones that scare me. I couldn't see it when it was happening, but I looked at the video afterwards like, whoa.
So you had all of your hair cut off.
Yeah, and if you've never seen my hair, the last time I had a haircut, it was actually the same thing in 2017. So it's taken me 8 years to grow that hair level, shoulder length, and it was thick, and I have it's like a mop. The last haircut I had was this one. So if you want to see that 8 years from now, I'll look exactly the same.
What was the experience like for you sitting there having your hair cut, and what did it mean to you to have so many people want to be involved?
It was very moving. It was amazing to hear the call outs. Oh, we just reached $1,000. We just surpassed $2,000. And I'm like, this is amazing. I honestly had a goal in mind to raise $2,000. And I think I don't know the final total, but the last I heard, I think it was close to 5,000.
That's incredible.
In like a half hour.
Wow.
So it's like probably the most expensive haircut known to man, right? But for a good cause.
Did people give like different amounts?
Different amounts, yes. So initially the plan was that if they donated between like $25 and $50, they got to use scissors. And then above $50, they got to use the clippers. I only had the scissors like twice. Like the amounts were just crazy.
Yeah.
People were donating. And it was really cool to watch the inspiration because it was like a chain effect. As soon as one person got up, the next person's like, "Oh wow!" And it was as I explained in an email to Ashley's dad this morning. It was such a beautiful experience of love, and that love energy I hope will carry into healing energy for Ashley's body. So it was more than just raising money. It was also about raising spirits. It was about raising awareness of how each one of us can just show up and make a difference. And it doesn't take a lot of effort.
Right. And you weren't the only one to get a haircut.
I wasn't.
Were you?
I wasn't. So when I announced this to the group, kudos to Don. So if you guys don't know Don Poisson's Auto, he's a genuine being of light. And, he immediately stepped up and he's like, and I don't think he really initially, like, I didn't make it clear when I was telling people. I was kind of making a fun pun about how they're going to go about cutting my hair. And he says, if you're doing what I think you're doing, I'm in. And I'm like, yeah. So the way it was set up as after my haircut, whoever made the largest single donation got to shave his entire head.
Oh, boy.
The funny part was he didn't tell his wife. And my husband knew what was happening. He didn't tell his wife. And I was talking to him about that, and I'm like, how long you been married? And he's like, oh, a long time. I'm like, oh, she won't notice. He's like, nah, I'll just put a hat on my head and she won't notice. He's like, she didn't notice, and he shaved his mustache for like 2 days.
I don't know Harry very well, but I have had the opportunity to meet with him a couple of times, and I'm going to guess that when you told Harry you were going to shave your head, he was not surprised at all.
No.
Especially for this reason.
Yeah, and it was interesting because when the idea came to me, and I don't believe that there's any, it's not something I just thought up. I have a belief that, we are guided. And sitting in our living room one day, and I was reading a post that Ashley had posted. She was struggling with the idea of not using the ice cap because her last time she used it, it caused her a lot of pain. And so she was making the decision to not use it and lose her hair. I looked over at my husband and I said, I think I'm going to shave my head. And I told him why. And he's like, I think you should. If you feel that you need to do this, then do it. And, obviously he was close to Anne, the lady that I spoke about. They worked together. And so she moved him as well. And it didn't surprise him. And he was kind of excited that for the first time in a long time, he'd have more hair than me. Because, he's balding. But, again, I mean, that's just part of it. Like, I put the idea out there and it just exploded. Yeah. And it's beautiful. And if it changes someone's perspective down the road, if this happens to somebody they know or they love, and if it gets them to think that, hey, I can just show up. Another thing that happened in 2017 when I did this the first time, the same friend that wrote the pink tips had told me, another thing she had told me is like, losing my hair, it wasn't about the vanity. It was that I didn't want people to see me as sick. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. And I'd never thought of that. And when I did this first in 2017, I felt that firsthand. People were all of a sudden were afraid to approach me. Yeah. They were afraid to talk to me. They looked at me differently. They had pity in their eyes. And I felt that energy. And so I've said before, I think everyone once in their lifetime should do this so that they can experience it from the patient's perspective, so that they get a bigger understanding. Because I've heard people say, I don't know what the big deal is. Your hair's going to grow back. Why do you care about that? They don't care about the hair growing back. They just don't want to be sick. Right. And we need to feel that to understand it.
What does showing up mean to you?
That means being there for somebody in a way that resonates with you. It could mean, bringing them meals. It could mean just reaching out and talking to them. It can mean donating money. Whatever your means are, just be there. This person doesn't want to be isolated. They're going through this journey, but they shouldn't be doing it alone. So it means just letting them know that they're not alone. We're all connected. Whether you know somebody for years or a minute, it's a human connection.
Did you say this was your first BNI?
This is my first BNI.
First BNI, and you made quite an impact.
Not my first BNI visit to this chapter, but this is my first group that I've been in, yes.
Yeah. What made you decide to join?
Pam.
She can do that. She's pretty influential.
Yeah, she invited me to the group. Now, I had visited I visited another chapter before, and I just kind of didn't feel the energy. This group, the Androscoggin Network Builders, is amazing. The energy I felt on that first visit, you could just feel the love. You could feel the care. You could feel this is a group of people that are not selfish. They're selfless. And they all have the same mission to help each other on their journey, to help benefit each other's growth in their business. And being a nonprofit, for me, this is about opportunity to have more people involved in our community programs, our community projects, our fundraising events. I now have 50 people that are going to advocate for my fundraising events for the programs that we do, like the Black Belts Against Domestic Violence, the Women's Protecting Victims of Domestic Violence, our anti-bullying programs. I have advocates, and I'm their advocate, and that's what it's all about.
Thanks for being you.
Oh, thank you.
Next year marks 30 years of Uncle Andy's Digest. What started as a beloved print publication has grown into Lydia Media, a full-service marketing partner helping local businesses thrive. From LA Metro Magazine and the Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast to social media management, website design, and advertising across all platforms, we've got your marketing needs covered. If you're a business making a difference in our community, let's connect. Lydia Media is here to tell your story and help you grow. Lydia Media, in business, for business. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com.
What's going on at Phoenix No Limits Karate? I know you have some events coming up.
Yes,
and some programs as
July 16th, we have a fundraising event at Lost Valley. Lost Valley does these amazing nonprofit nights on Wednesdays, and we've partnered with them. This is, I think, our third year. So from 4 to 6:30 p.m., come and have dinner. Nice family dinner, enjoy that, and they donate 15% of the food sales to our Black Belts Against Domestic Violence program. During that time, we will also have silent auction items. And then we're partnering up with Comedy Club. Why am I drawing a blank?
Great Falls.
Great Falls Comedy Club. Sorry, Leonard. And we're going to have a comedy show from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. That's going to be adult comedy. So what we're doing is we're offering daycare service at the dojo. So come and have a family dinner. Bring your kids to the dojo for free daycare, and then come back and enjoy the comedy show. Comedy show tickets are $25, and Great Falls Comedy Club is donating 80% of the ticket sales to our Black Belts Against Domestic Violence program. We're honored to have that partnership with them and all these great local comedians providing the entertainment for us. It's going to be an amazing night. Please come out and enjoy. Tickets can be purchased at greatfallscomedyclub.com. We would love for you to purchase the tickets in advance. We will be able to have tickets purchased the night of, but for planning purposes, if you're able to, and to secure your seat, please purchase them in advance on greatfallscomedyclub.com.
And we also are going to be debuting a new feature on the podcast coming up here in the coming weeks. We're going to have some safety tips from you.
That's right.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So say safety tips.
Right, love it.
Honestly, this was through the BNI. Another chapter member and I were talking, and she recently took a self-defense course with me, and she's like, and each week I would give them a safety tip. And she was like, you should totally be giving these out. You should do like a podcast. And so I'm like, oh, Pam. Pam, look. So the BNI group is amazing. I can't promote them enough. Like they're all always thinking of each other and how we can help and how we can help the community. And so that's how that came about.
To our loyal podcast listeners, you will be hearing some safety tips in the coming days from SOSI Donna Harris, which will be a regular feature here on the show. So thank you for that as well.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Thanks for joining me and sharing that incredible story. She is SOSI Donna Harris from Phoenix No Limits Karate. If you would like more information, go online to phoenixnlkarate.org. That's the show, folks. Have yourselves a great weekend. Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam Ashby via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat. And I will say I have bitten my cat.